Hey, what's up? My name is Tom Mizzle. You're watching my channel Mizzle14, and I'm here doing a review of Iyanla Fix My Life. This is a season finale. It's a two-part season finale called Pride versus Prejudice. This is the first part of two-parter. All right. And once again, it's a season finale. So after next week, we'll be gone from Iyanla until she decides to come back. All right. Oh, this was something else. This is something else. It was great that she showed this last because you could tell that in society a lot of people go through this. A lot of people go through their in-laws being very judgmental, being very too involved in a relationship, bringing their own baggage into their relationship, into their child's relationship, and it causing this causing tensions between the couple. And sometimes it's hard, and sometimes it takes that one person to really does a lot, and then that person, and it makes us feel like that person don't understand. Like Iyanla said, once people live in glass houses, they should not be throwing stones because they freaking um, upbringing is not all that great is as well. So if you live in a glass house which is prone to be shattered, then you should not be throwing stones at other people because you can bring right back to you. And sometimes the feelings that you be having and what you have been going through is portraying and projecting on the feelings or the stuff that is going on in your children marriage. So we go along with Vita. Vita wrote the show. She wrote Iyanla because she said she wants to have a better relationship with Misha, or she wants things to get better with Misha. Misha is her daughter-in-law. Let's do the background. She's German, so she very has the European type background, and you know how some of the European standards is how they think, so how some may think they superior in the way they lifestyle, their upbringing to compared to other cultures. So she already has that, and then she has a son who married a black woman. So that's a little barrier right there. So cultural differences, she Rita explains that is between her and Ramisha. That's that. Class, how they was brought up, that she probably Rita probably was well privileged. She grew in the house, she was taken care of. Whereas Ramisha, she explained that she was shelter to shelter. She had inconsistencies and living arrangements and stuff like that. So that was that. Basically, probably judging. And also communication. She said communication is a barrier. They both speak English, but at the same time, like she said, some things that they would say in Germany may not translate well, and well, what Misha was bringing up. So the communication barriers between those two. It could be age differences as well. They didn't say that, but age could play a factor. Like the culture, communication, class, age differences, the generation, age generation. Misha in this time generation, they may do things differently now than well Rita was bringing up, because Rita I think is around 50 or something like 50 or something like that, and Misha is 28. So yes, it is an age generation gap, and cultural differences and all that stuff. So it's a lot coming to play into the breakdown with this family, and Chris is her son. Chris and Misha have been married for 7 years. So with this 7 years, it's the same thing going over and over. Rita's blaming Ramisha like she don't want to listen to me. She don't like to hear what I want to say. I try to give her criticism. I try to help her and stuff, and she always backing down. She said an example where that she told us she doesn't recall her second grandchild have bumps and bruises in her forehead like the first one. Now, as she said, since then, Ramisha hasn't really want to hang out with her or don't want to co with her. She would suggest that she go to a park and let's go out and let's play, but Ramisha don't want to do that. And then weeks later, something that she go out by herself. So Rihanna was like that. You basically saying that she is not mothering and she's not paying attention to her children because you didn't state that. You state that you don't recall that the first child had more abuses than that. So that's basically a pass of judgment, pass like a insight of what she's thinking about Ramisha, how she raises her children. And now she also mentions that Ramisha house is dirty, it's junky, it's filthy. Remind you, your son live in the house with her. So your children, if the house is kind of dirty, it's a reflection of both Ramisha and Chris. Why you always blaming on Ramisha? That it's her fault that the house is junky or whatever. All right. Um, and that's that. So she told Chris, it's like, listen, if I go babysit, that you need to bring the kids to my house and everything because I can't have that there. So she basically very judgmental right off the bat. And I can tell Rita's gonna be a problem because Rita is set in her ways. It's very hard to change her mentality, and it's also hard to change her because when she's 50 years old, it's very hard to change that person's mind unless they really want to change and be emotional, ready to change. She wrote the show, but I could tell at the same time it's gonna be hard for her to accept any responsibility of what she's doing. What she done doing is not right. And Iyanla's here is trying to bring it to us. She said, even though she may not, Iyanla said, even though Rita may not understand or comprehend the things that she has been doing that is not right, but she is trying to put in the effort and work to get the things done to change. So we'll see that. All right. So I was telling Rita that you involved in way too much into the relationship in inappropriate ways. You too involved. You putting yourself into the relationship so much that it's ridiculous. It is. It's like you should not be too invested into your son's marriage with Misha. Let it be. Like you don't have to make judgment in everything that has to be doing. You don't have to put your foot into the in a relationship. You don't have to run things. And you can tell that Rita is very controlling because she like things the way how she sees it and how she brought up is the standard and how they should be done. So she always is something that's not right. She will over vocalize. So Iyanla asks Rita to write things how she feels about or things about Ramisha that needs to be changed or stuff like that. And she wrote a 5-page dissection letter. She was dissecting Ramisha in 5-page bullet point 5 pages of things. That's like really that's way too deep to be putting that much effort. It's like so when it came to Ramisha and Chris reading that, Ramisha found that it was very laughable. And Chris said it's a lot of things that he didn't even know about. So they couldn't even know how to take that. But Miss Iyanla was like, why you think that's laughable? Don't you think that this is a series of violence? It's a form of violence. It's a passive aggressiveness of violence that she pours out all her stuff in 5 pages of Ramisha with no problem. But when asks her a direct question or stuff like that, she flips it and makes it different what she not on was asked of her. So she make up things that is not really there. And it was very prevalent throughout this episode that she does make up things that is not even need to be said or put into the freaking relationship or put into the problems that they have it. She make things up like think that that's a problem which is not really the issue. So finally we get to see Ramisha. Ramisha is 27 years old and she sat down. She said she's very nervous because she's gonna feel like things that she might say about Rita is gonna come back to her and she don't know how she's gonna take it because this is her mother-in-law and she don't want to really hurt her mother-in-law feelings and stuff, what stuff she's gonna say. But Iyanla said that's okay, that's what we're here for. She wrote in, so she's willing to change and she's willing to hear the things that you have to say about her. So let you say what you're saying. So it makes you feel like that that she feel like Rita wants her to be obedient. She wants her to be quiet, not to say anything, to be yes ma'am, all that stuff like that. What you need, what you want, like do what she wants to do, what Rita wants to do, and that's what Ramisha feel like. She feel like Rita want her to do things that she needs her to do. Basically, the kind of like the cultural differences, how she's European people make feel like superior. I'm not saying all of them does, but how Rita portraying herself, she feel like she's more important and better and supposed to be known and supposed to be more respected than Ramisha, that she respected Ramisha. So she feel like Ramisha should bow down to her. Basically, that's what it is. And so we brought up Chris. So it was like, this is problem. This is crazy. What is going on? So we need to bring out Chris because And I was like, listen, Rita's doing a lot going on. She is judging you. She is telling you what to do. She is criticizing your house. She criticizes your motherhood and stuff like that. So she said, if I was in your shoes, I would have been crying or I'll be cursing the motherfucker out. And you're not doing either one of those two. So we need to bring Chris out and get his side of the story and see what's going on. Because I feel the same way too. I said, ain't no way you're going to be coming around here trying to tell me what to do in our damn household. And we've been together for 7 years. So it's not just not met. So Rita did a border situation that when she first met Ramisha, she came out with a English accent. And when she said sometimes she comes out and something like that, to say that when she talks to different people, her accent comes out. So it's not intentional, but she does this from time to time to people she talks to. So it came out. So she admit that it does came out. But Rita felt that was very superficial because she said she felt like that she shouldn't have been having an accent like that. She shouldn't come on an English accent and stuff, whatever. And I was like, how you don't know she has an English accent? You thought that was very superficial. Just because she doesn't mention it or she'll say it, doesn't mean that it's very superficial or judgmental or wrong for speaking that. It's not wrong. Just because she's black doesn't mean she can't have an English accent. Come on now, Rita. You was very judging, and you feel like you not judging, what you very are. And so, but like Chris, and when he comes out, you can really, I don't know, I could sense that he is a very passive type of guy, or docile, or the person who don't really like confrontation. So he really don't really go against his mother, or what she's saying, he let his mother say a lot. So I was telling him, it's like, listen, you are your house, you are the head of your household. At one point, where are you supposed to be throwing boundaries into the relationship with your mom and your wife? And he said there are boundaries. So what's the consequences that she's breaking those boundaries? And do you stop talking to her for a while? Do you withhold the grandchildren from her? All that stuff. Do you have her stop coming to the house? What is the boundaries? Boundaries without consequences. What are the consequences? Boundary without consequences. It's just basic talk. It's useless. It's like, come on, it had to be some repercussions if she's not following the rules that you set in your household. Because she said she don't get to come to your house and criticize your wife in the house. Because at the end of the day, once he's married, it's his unit between him and his wife and his kids. The mother-in-law should step back. Yes, that's your mom. You don't disrespect your mom. But at the same time, your mom should not be disrespecting your wife either. So if she's not getting along with that, you got to let your mom know, this is my wife. This is my commitment. And you have to honor his wife. So that's a lot. But she said you could tell that Chris don't really say much or really confronts her. So he said she guilty of herself because she said at times that Chris be so passive or something like that, and then you got to be dominating or manipulative or something like that, overpowering him and stuff, and do things that he wants or what she wants, it's like that, or what she wants because she used that and he's very passive. So Iyanla said, is it really because he's passive or he has a gentle soul? Gentle soul means that he really kind-hearted, so he really don't want to get in between and not come off as abrasive or come off as confronting his mom to something that she's doing. Do you have a gentle soul? Do you have a broken spirit or gentle spirit? Do you have a broken spirit or you are a very passive man? Which one are you? He said he liked to feel himself as a gentle soul, but he been more broken spirit. So it was like, oh, what's happening there? Because right then and there, you could tell, because when Chris was talking to Iyanla, so she was coming at him or stuff like that, he could tell that he started to break down, like his energy was shifting. And it seemed like he don't really like that direct confrontation, direct coming at him. So he mentioned something that something that happened that may have caused the way how he handled things now. When he was 6 years old, he said he was 6 years old. He was walking from his home for school, and while he was walking home, the guy approached him and said, "Do you want to go see a turtle?" He, as a young kid, he may not know any different. He thinks that this guy is friendly. He was going to actually see a turtle. Went with the guy, not knowing that the guy was a predator, sexual predator, bastard. Hope he died. Sexual predator, and got this kid, and he went in the bushes. He didn't go further because Iyanla didn't want to push him any further because he could tell he was trying not to break down even more. he had his eyes closed when he was telling the story, and you could tell he was trying to hold back the tears or stuff that was breaking down for him. So he feel like since then he used that he made a bad decision. He feel like, and now he reacts or do things in a way that he won't cause him to make any tough wrong decisions in his life. So basically not going against his mom or something like that, or do everything or trying to people pleaser. And because he made that wrong choice when he was 6 years old, that broken boy in him, it needs to be healed so he could grow up and be a man and confront his wife. As long as he's in that mindset as a little young boy, it's not going to trigger well in him confronting his mom. It's not going to happen. It's really not going to happen. So he said he never told his mom directly. He told his friend that was told his mom, and then his mom told Chris's mom. And Chris' mom, she said, why you didn't tell me? It's like that. So he feel like the reason why he didn't say nothing, he was like, willing, if she willing going to freaking, she said she broke down and cried. But he feel like, will people will love me no matter what? Because he said this thing happened to him. So when he's really not saying much or want me to get help, he always had in the back of the mind, if I do come out, if I say this, will people still love me the way I am? So I was like, oh, Chris, we got to get that. So basically we see that it's more of a problem that between the breakdown of Rita and Chris, more so her problem with Amisha, because their issues is not being resolved and the collection is not being resolved between Rita and Chris. So therefore is breaking down, is trickling into his marriage with Amisha, and all that negative energy, that feelings that they have between each other or stuff like that, tensions or unresolved issues, is now going down into the marriage. And that's what's the problem. And Iyanla told Rita that. He said more your issues is more with your son, and that problem is causing into your tension with the daughter. And Iyanla made a thing that was a term that she said, and that was like, I never heard of that before. But now she explained it, it does make sense, because a lot of women or a lot of people out there, a lot of parents out there does this with their children when they get married, especially the mothers to their sons. Are you aware that your mom, Rita, is making you as emotional husband? And Mamisha was like, ooh, like that. And he said, well, I never heard of that. So when she explained to her, he said, her happiness, her satisfaction, her failures, her success is morally based on you. She putting that on you. So you are her emotional husband in this fact that she used you as a way to get through her feelings and stuff like that, or show herself that she is emotionally bounded to you, and she uses you as a scapegoat to deal with her feelings. So you are her emotional husband. The feelings and stuff like that, what she have, she comes and she come out to say that. And the fact that she can't directly confront Risha because Risha's not is being pushed back, she uses you as an emotional husband. That her happiness is through your happiness, her failures is through you, her success is through Chris, her satisfaction is through Chris. So if Chris is not satisfying her or feeding her ego, her narcissism, because I feel like Nita is very narcissistic, then it's a breakdown between them. And since she's not really conforming to what I want, then it's going to be a problem, and I'm going to cause problems in the relationship. So I see that a lot. A lot of women does that with their sons. Like when they got a girl, and it's not too much about her being black or whatever. All that stuff that Rita said, or the cultural differences. Well, it could be that the cultural differences, the communication, the class, all that stuff. That could be about. It could be about she's just another woman in their life. It could be any woman, and she's just another woman. So that was that, and I was like, yes, that is definitely it. So Iyanla finally sat down and talked to LaShonda, Misha's mom, and see her side of the tape. So Iyanla did first brought up about she said this is how your daughter's house is. And LaShonda said to a certain degree it is, but she said that they feel like when the kids is playing, instead of cleaning all the time, they will let the kids play, and at the later part of the day, they will clean their house up, and that's it. It will be no one playing, it will be clean, they good. So then Rita went on going on saying that, oh yes, I don't understand it could be some sad how Misha upbringing was going because the mom was non-existent, not being there, or not loving, not attentive to her children. And so I can imagine how surrounded this be. She like Rita is very judgmental. She like, what is she coming off with all this craziness that she's just saying? Like, what's come on? It's like really ridiculous like, with the stuff that she's coming out of her mouth. And she said, I don't know, wow. So she, Lashana did said that she said, oh, this little lady. So Lashana just said that she did have little substance abuse problems because Iyanla brought that up. She said yes, her mom took care. Well, her kids was like 10, 11, 12. Her mom took care of her for a little bit, and then told her that she get yourself together, and then you get your kids back. And I guess she got herself together. She got her kids, so it didn't take too long. So we'll probably see more about that little breakdown. But it wasn't too much that make it seem like that she was a horrible woman to her kids. So Lashana said yes, I worked 3 jobs because I wanted to make sure my kids have. So yes, Papa was not around because she was working so much. So she said, but she never had to sit down and talk to Rita with that. So how Rita is coming up with all this stuff, and she never really told Rita this stuff that she had been brought up. They really don't really talk like that. So we're gonna find a reality. Say, you know what? We're gonna sit down and talk to her because we're gonna figure out these things. So basically, Iyanla confront Rita and told her, like, listen. This freaking 5-page letter you bringing is very passive-aggressive violence. And the only way that you showing is a kind of aggression towards them. She said, I didn't think like that because I didn't know. So that cause you the one not know. Because you will not reflect that you are doing that. So that was that. So Rita coming upon herself that the stones that she gave Rita, and I forgot it was mentioned other things. Mental health was a problem because she said her father or Chris's father, whatever, had mental health issues. He might be depressed, or her father might be depressed or something like that. And divorced. She's divorced. She raised Chris on her own, single parent. And so Iyanla asked her, do you want divorce for your son? And she took a hard time to answer that question. Like, is this yes or no? And she said, well, if it's like, no, we don't come on all this craziness. Is it yes or no? She said, if it doesn't work out, yes, I don't want divorce for my son. But she was trying to give a longer answer. I said, no, we're going to cut that. So we'll go on more for the next part. Maybe she'll address that more in the second part. All right, so then again, the stones that Iyanla gave her to reflect on and stuff like that, she turned that around and made something that she thought that she wants. Or insensitivity to fun, just to trust, to love, to this. That's not what the thing was asking you. It was asking you to reflect on the things that you have been doing that it will trickle down to your relationship with your son and to the marriage, and how can you work on fixing these things or looking into it. But yet she turned around and flipped them to do something that she wants to do. So she said, I had another time because I did my journal. I had a lot of time in my hands. She said, well, you could pray, you could sleep, you can nap, you can reflect, all that stuff. So she gave her emotional chart. Every little bullet point you do, write the bullet point, use that bullet point and match up how it makes you feel in you. So when they finally sat down with Rita, Iyanla sat down with Rita and LaShonda, and she come up with 2 things. I was like, all right, let's go on, let's do that. One of the questions was, Iyanla asked her about the accent. She said, how does it make you feel about the English accent? She said it was very superficial. I said, how that's superficial? She said she didn't have an accent. It was weird that she come out. She said, you just met the first time meeting her. How do you know she didn't have that accent? And so Iyanla switched it up and had that Caribbean accent. She said, I told you I taught you like this. And this and that, all that stuff. It just flipped on her. And it showed the point that you never know I could talk like this. But since you meeting me, you will never know. But it won't be superficial to me, or it won't be any real to me, because that's how I can feel. I could talk if I want to talk to you like that. So it doesn't feel wrong. So that was very judgmental. So, and that. So it was another question that can tell that Rita is very making up things. And this is a prime example. They asked her, do you and LaShonda go out together or hang out? And how often do you see each other? She came out and said, oh, well, our lifestyles is different. She more like to go to the beauty salon, and I like to go horseback riding. So Iyanla said, how does the lifestyle question? So she said, you asked me, and she said, no. That was a yes or no question. She said, I didn't know it was a prerequisite. It wasn't a prerequisite. The answer question was, how do you and LaShonda hang out? And the answer, she said, seldom. She said, okay, I would take that. You really don't meet out. And how often do you see each other? She said, well, twice a year. All right. So if that's the answers, and that's the acceptable answers, how do you get lifestyle from that? So she said you got a tendency to make up things and flip on things how you want it to make it fit for you, and that doesn't work that way. And so Iyanla is saying, look what, you is emotional, you are adult Billy. And exactly how she is. She feel like she got to get her way. She very manipulative. And if it doesn't want goes her way, she going to bully your ass, and she going to do what she going to keep saying. She going to kick, she going to scream, holler, judge, say what you want to say to get her point across, or two, y'all fall in line and do what she wants. And that's all a classic sign of what a bully is and what a bully does to people who they feel they can proud on and they won't get any pushback. And she's a dope bully. And that's how they ended right there, y'all. It was something good. Part 2 seems like it's going to be more, because now we're going to find out, Chris going to explain his emotional, he's going to explain his childhood trauma to Rita. It seems like Rita is very dismissive of that. It's like, you could tell this lady is very narcissistic, and in my opinion, I think Rita is not really trying to change, and really not trying to listen, because every time she said, yeah, like, is she really understanding, or she really not caring what Iyanla is saying? And she just nodded and putting her head down so she could just get through the sessions. It seems like to me that's how she's doing it. But I don't know, maybe she is trying to understand, because at 50-something years old, sometimes talking to an older person, it's really hard to, you got to really explain to them, you got to really show them, you got to really understand how things is different than what they brought up and how things is. And it's very hard for them to really say it, but you do respect you if you do speak your mind on it. So we'll see how this goes. But I see y'all next week for part 2. Tell me how y'all feel. Please like, comment, subscribe to my channel. And I'll talk to y'all next week, alright? Peace.